AntonioGraceffo, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you back on the show.
Good to see you, Tiffany.
We saw President Biden visit Israel in a show of support. At the same time, Russia's Putin was visiting Xi Jinping in China on the sidelines of the Belt and Road Forum. Now, the Taliban was also officially invited. How do you view this year's forum in light of the Israel-Hamas war?
Yeah, it's interesting that the Belt and Road Forum itself is taking second place to this other agenda, which is basically building a coalition between China, Russia, the Taliban, Iran, and all these pariah states.
And what's your understanding of Russia and China's responses so far in terms of the Israel-Hamas war?
So China has basically refused to comment, and on Chinese social media, they are showing lots of video of Palestinians dying or suffering, and basically making it out that the U.S. and Israel have attacked Palestine. Russia has condemned the United States and Israel, and they're both blaming the United States and Israel for warmongering.
And what is their stake in that region? Why do they care?
Well, China cares because of energy, because of oil. Russia is also heavily involved in the area. Wagner was active in the area, the Russian mercenary company. So basically, the Middle East. Plus, there's a very long history between Iran and Russia, and then also with Iran and China. So they have a stake, and what they want to do is they want to form a coalition. They want to get all the Muslim states, the Arab states together on their side and isolate the United States and Israel on the other side.
And now, given this reordering or reshuffling of these countries, how is that going to impact countries like India?
Right. So India was poised, along with the United States, to form this new corridor that was going to compete with the Belt and Road. It's going to come up through, Saudi Arabia. Israel was involved, Saudi Arabia involved, and I believe the UAE was involved, connecting the Middle East with Europe. And it was a really great deal that we had negotiated and India agreed to. Now what's happened is because Hamas attacked Israel, and China and Russia are putting pressure. The Muslim states are sort of pulling back from Israel, which puts Saudi Arabia in a position that they can't really move forward on the deal. It doesn't mean the deal is dead. It doesn't mean that it won't move forward. It might be that Saudi Arabia is going to wait. They're going to, bide their time. And in a few weeks from now, if this dies down, they'll be able to move forward on the deal. But right now, the deal can't move forward. And so that's going to hurt India.
And there's talks of this conflict escalating with potentially Hezbollah entering the fight against Israel. How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, the escalation is really scary because Iran backs both Hamas and Hezbollah. Hamas is relatively small, ill-equipped militia, whereas Hezbollah is a well-trained, well-equipped militia, both funded by Iran. Iran has already threatened that if Israel moves forward with their ground invasion of Gaza, Hezbollah will respond. Speculation is that the reason that U.S. troops and the U.S., particularly the U.S. Navy, was moved to the region was in case Hezbollah becomes involved, or as a deterrent to prevent Hezbollah from getting involved, or if they do get involved, that the U.S. Navy would then get involved. So this thing could easily escalate.
And on that note, what's the message the U.S. should be sending right now?
I think the U.S. should definitely be sending a message that of course, we send the message that we support Israel. We need to remind everyone that Hamas attacked Israel, that the two-state solution, and this is a problem, even Biden said the two-state solution, this two-state solution is impossible because the West Bank and Gaza are on opposite sides of Israel. There's no way that we can do this two-state solution. So some other solution has to be found. And I think maybe that's the message we should be sending is, let's all sit down and figure out a solution.
Quite concerning indeed. AntonioGraceffo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tiffany.